What's the best thing you've accidentally trained a pet to do? Like a behavior that is specifically from interaction with you and couldn't just be a quirk or learn themselves. When my old cat was a kitten, he would get in your face when you were eating and try to steal stuff off your plate, fork, mouth. Squirt bottle came into play, and after a few days he realized if he stood by the Xbox we would not squirt him and he could plan an attack. I had 3 brothers growing up who loved to torment my Maine Coon. I made the rule they couldn't touch him on my bed. They would chase him through the house and he would make a huge flying leap onto my bed, 1 bedroom for 4 kids, and then whip around and just glare daggers at them, knowing he was safe. I swear it only took him a week to figure it out. I've accidentally trained my mother-in-law's terrier to sit on my shoulder like a parrot. He lets me walk around like that. I think he enjoys being carried and the change of perspective. I first read that as you trained your mill to sit on your shoulder like a parrot, lol. My dog Blue is a hunting dog, but is also a huge couch hound and loves cuddling. She sleeps with me a lot, but if she gets in bed before me, she takes up the entire bed. I usually make her sit, let me get in bed and get comfy, and then she can come up. The other night I was in bed earlier than usual because I wasn't feeling well, and all of a sudden had a horrible feeling I was being watched. Creeped out. I was looking around for my phone when I heard this weird groaning noise. I immediately grabbed my phone and shone my flashlight towards the noise, only to see just Blue's eyes peeking at me over the edge of my bed. I accidentally trained her to wait until I gave her the okay to come up with me. I have no idea how long she was there, and I was cracking up when I realized what was happening. I've been booping my tiny tabby since she was a kitten. She sits beside me on the arm of the sofa whenever I watch TV, as this usually results in treats. One day, to my joyful surprise, she gently booped my nose with her hand. This overwhelming display of cuteness naturally earned her a treat, so now I'm plagued by boops on the regular. One of my cats does this, too. It's pretty adorable, unless she does it when I'm sleeping. When I put my dog's harness on him, he jumps up with his front feet. He started this because I lift his front 2 feet up to make him step into it. He only does it for me, not for my girlfriend. My dog does that too. It's actually really helpful though. The noise of the Xbox turning off. When the dog hears that boo-boo-bing noise, he goes freaking up a shit thinking he's getting taken on a walk. To be fair, he usually is. Bro, I have 2 cats and 2 dogs. One of the cats will turn off my Xbox occasionally if she wants attention. When I put on lipstick, the dog goes in his crate. I can do all sorts of things in the bathroom, but that last step of lipstick and he knows it's time to get going. Definitely read when I put lipstick on the dog. My wife and I lived in a condo, and whenever one of us went upstairs we announced it, like I'm going upstairs, then go. So one day my wife is trying to snack on something and our dog was bothering her, and she got fed up and scoldingly said go upstairs. Up the stairs he went, where he sat and stared at her as if nobody ever feeds him and one little bite would mean the world. I need a picture of sad dog. Alright, this may be a bit hard to describe, but I'll do my best. Growing up, my family had a dog named Jock, along with some other dogs that came and went. The back door of our house led into our kitchen, and we had a wooden dog door in the back door. Sometimes, when the dogs were outside for whatever reason, and my mother was cooking, Jock would put his snout right up to the crack in the dog door and inhale as deeply as possible, trying to get whiffs of the food. My mom found this so annoying she would open the door to shut him up. I guess this happened enough times that he learned to do this loud, slow inhalation routine whenever he wanted to be let inside. But then he also extended his method to every door in the house. Whenever he wanted a door open, he would stick his nose right up to the crack under the door and inhale deeply, repeatedly. He did this for at least 5 years, until the day he died. And it worked, because the sound of something sucking air through your door for several minutes was incredibly annoying. I love this one. Hilarious. I had a budgie who was impossible to train, but he chirped twice after anyone in the house sneezed. It was his form of bless you. There's a lot of crosswalks around my neighborhood and I always stop at them and look both ways. Some reckless butt drivers in my neighborhood too. My dog has adopted this technique too. She'll sit and either look down the street or at me at every crosswalk until I go to walk. A little bit of preface. I hate pants. I'm more of a skirt or dress type of person. My energetic sheepherder husky mix knows if I have pants on it means I'm taking her for a hike. Now whenever I'm seen in pants she freaks out, jumping up and down and running to the front door. In the winter I have a specific set of ultra warm pants that I wear when walking my dog. They're my dog walking pants, and when they come out, oh boy my dog loses it. I get really excited when my boxer, Layla, bends herself like a kidney bean when I get home. She's really excited, I'm really excited, so when I squeal, "Do your bean," Layla it just perpetuates itself. I love Layla. After watching me retrieve the incoming mail from the letter slot over time, our cat, a big, male Maine Coon, delivers it to me. As I noted some time ago, he grabs each letter in his teeth and brings it to where I'm sitting. Bigger pieces get batted with his strong paws. If there's a piece too heavy, he sits at my feet, looking back to the letter slot, and MROWs loudly till I go fetch. Our half Maine Coon would just put the mail in her dang water bowl. She does play fetch though. Before I walk my dog, I usually use the bathroom. My dog takes that as a signal to prance around the house excitedly, because walkies. Every time I use the bathroom and don't follow through with getting his harness, he looks disappointed in me. When I say housey times my dog gets in his crate, it wasn't intentional, but now it's his cue. Mine does the same for time to go to bed. Two of my cats like to hiss and spit and battle each other a lot. It's annoying, and we feel bad for the older one, so whenever we hear them yowling we look to the dog and say, "Go check it out," and she runs to break up the cat fight. My two cats like to battle each other. The older one didn't make a sound the first 4 years we had her. She has learned since we got the younger one that when she yowls we'll come check on her, pet her, and separate the younger cat from her. She now yowls all the time when close to little bro, even when she is the aggressor or they're not even touching. I've unintentionally trained my cat to ask to come into my room. He's not allowed in because I'm technically allergic. I used to put a fan pointing across the door to my room and he hates fans. He would yell at me and I'd either say no or move the fan to let him in. I've since moved the fan and he still asks to come in unless I'm not there and then he just wanders in. This accidentally also taught him what no means and he tries to argue occasionally. I'm not sure how she learned it, but one of my cats talks back when she hears her name, "Get down," or "No." My dog farts when he wants attention. Every time he would fart, my GF and I would laugh and tell him he's a good boy. Now he'll come up to me, sit, wag his tail, and let a few toots out. Not sure if it's his short fur or just his anatomy, but they're almost always audible. You can't just tell us this and not provide a video to go along with it. I taught our old dog to run by saying "super puppy away." My mom also accidentally taught the same dog, "walk pretty" instead of heel. That one was fun to say in public. My cat doesn't mind the rain, and sometimes will come in soaking wet, so I'd towel him off. He loves being toweled off and now insists that I rub him with a towel anytime it rains. He just didn't make the connection that he has to be wet for towel rubs. Another commenter said that they fed their cat so he would let them dry him after being in the rain, so he'd go out in the rain on purpose to get extra food. When my childhood cat would bite us or my parents, my mum would put her outside as punishment. When she felt like going outside, she'd come and bite us. Oh no, I taught my cats not to bite by yelling "ow" when they were kittens. I'm fostering some kittens now and doing the same thing. But when I yell out one of my grown-up cats comes over to make sure I'm okay. When my dog was a puppy he followed my husband everywhere including the bathroom which had a big walk-in shower. After a couple weeks when my husband would go to the bathroom the dog would follow him and pee in the shower, eventually going in there whenever he had to go. Wasn't really mad because at least it wasn't on the carpet. Puppy also taught himself how to use the ice maker to get fresh ice too. He's way too smart for his own good. My lab jumped up on the water ice dispenser when she was a puppy, just hit it with her foot. That shot of water between the eyes has prevented this from ever happening again. I'm just glad she didn't hit the ice pedal instead because she loves ice cubes. I'm delighted that the cats know they're being bad when I say "excuse me." It started with "excuse me, what's going on here?" Nice. I have one that backtalks when I yell her name. Sometimes even when she isn't doing anything I can shout her name just to get a reaction. I managed to teach my cat to kiss people on accident. I've only had her for about 2 months now. She gets ready to do it before you leave or as you are entering into the house because she watched my boyfriend and I kiss when we would leave the house or come home from work, and I guess she felt left out. I just tap on my chest for her to leap up and pucker my lips so she will put her mouth on my nose and do a small lick. I am chronically ill and have an autoimmune disease that causes my blood pressure to crash while upright and pass out frequently. Certain exercises are important to stop from passing out frequently, so I hike daily with my dog. After passing out a bunch on hikes and at home, my dog somehow has learned to warn me by standing close to my hand and staring at me on our hikes when my blood pressure is getting low and my heart rate is increasing to tell me to lay down before I pass out. It's become super helpful. One of my cats paws at the door of the dryer because she wants to be brushed. Put her up there a couple of times as a kitten so I didn't have to bend to brush her, and now she meows and runs into that room to tap the dryer door. It opens downward so she can jump on the door and up to the top by herself for brush time. There's a string of bells hanging off the back door handle. One of the other cats rings the bell when he wants out. I figured his logic is, door opens, bell rings, therefore ring bell, door opens. We used to have rats that were allowed to run around on the sofa when we were watching TV. They were not allowed on the nearby shelves full of hardcover books. We accidentally taught them the word bookcase, which they thought was a verb meaning turn around and scuttle back the way you came. Right now, mine all also learn their names and the word rat. Rat omg tat means me. I never make any effort to teach them. They just pick up on what words you use when you pet and feed them. I accidentally trained my dog to eat spiders. I have a deathly fear of spiders, and anytime I see one I usually scream and yell spider. The scream would always get my dog's attention and she'd come running. Then she'd see the spider and eat it. Now anytime you just say the word spider she starts looking around for one and will eat it if she finds it. My rabbit, Poe, will only exit his cage when given the go ahead, a nod, and as soon as he does, he blinkies twice then sits in my lap. Every single time. AWW, so polite. We have a screen on the sliding door to the back. He's run into it so many times he doesn't know when it's there anymore, and we have to show him it's safe to walk through. He'll sit at the open door for 10 minutes whining for us to let him out. My pup hears the bleeping sound of the Xbox One turning off and he runs directly for bed. He knows the system being shut off means it's bedtime. My old dog, RIP, learned to spell certain words which we didn't want to say in front of her. She would go mental if we spelled out W or LK, L-E-A-D or O-U-T. I miss her. My mom thinks spelling out ICECRERM somehow magically prevents the dogs from knowing what she is talking about. It worked the first few times, but she still does it years later and seems surprised that they've seen through the ruse. My cat was accidentally trained to go get me when he came in from the rain to get dry. He used to hate being dried but hate being wet too, so we'd feed him and sneak up and dry him. I'm pretty sure he started to go out in the rain intentionally later on just to get extra food. Unlike his sister, who was dumb as 2 rocks and once got trapped outside because she went out the door and so obviously couldn't re-enter via the cat flap. You've been spotted by the curious cow. Comment below and let him know what you're doing. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check out another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day you magnificent people.